Hafed Basada, not here. Dana Lappin.
Here.
Barbara Lavalure.
Here.
Bill McCabe, right here. Tara Matadi. Here. Justin Moran.
Here.
Kitty O'Day, not here. Colin Nelson.
Here.
Thomas Reikley.
Here.
John Swan.
Here.
Ruth Valgamay.
Here.
And staff. Michael Fry. The agenda was distributed prior to the meeting, and I believe you all have it. Are there any additions, changes? I will accept the agenda as submitted. The minutes were also distributed ahead of the meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, they are adopted as distributed. Members of the community? None present. I see Sandra. I see Lois. You'll have your chances if you care to speak. Reports, recommendations. The first item, introductions. For those who do not have an item on the agenda, which would be Ruth and Tara and Justin, I'd offer you a minute or so to introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ruth Valgamay. I'm the EPAC liaison with the Edina Art Center Board.
Hello, I'm Justin Moran. I am a youth representative for the Edina Art Board.
I'm Tara Motadi, and I'm the other student representative.
Thank you. First report, John Swan, Edina Film Festival.
Thank you, Bill. Well, I apologize for the formatting of the report that I sent out. I understand a few of you had some difficulty, and what I can do after the meeting is I can reformat and send it out, but at least all the text is there, all the information is present. What our film festival committee did shortly after the festival concluded is created essentially a white paper, a report of what worked, what didn't work, and any areas in which we would like to improve, and really our vision for 2012. I don't want to go over the entirety of the report. Obviously, for the sake of time, you all have it. I want to actually report one bit of very good news. We are learning here. This was a learning process in terms of how the money gets distributed. Landmark Theaters did require a W-9 from the Edina Community Foundation that has been supplied. And so we're believing that within the next week here, a check from Landmark should be delivered. Between the money that was made at the theater and the overflow of what we raised that we didn't spend, we had originally quoted about $3,000. It looks like it's going to be closer to $3,500. So better than having it revised down. So we're quite happy with that. I want to just very briefly cover just a couple of points of areas that we're going to try to improve, and then to let you know what's not included in here, which is the next steps that we're going to be taking as a committee towards 2012. Really, I think one of the big issues was just in general media and promotion. Look, the obvious answer here for anyone who is familiar with the festival, despite 2.5 years of work, we really pulled it all together in about 5-6 weeks. Not an ideal situation, and not certainly at all what we wanted to do. And a lot of these problems are a result of that, trying to get it done in a very short time span. But I think we need to have probably a better game plan going into it in terms of how we're going to reach out to media, especially outside of the city of Edina. Within Edina, we did actually, especially given the timing, I think a pretty good job. The front page of the Edina Sun-Current, and a very large story detailing all the films that were present. Edina Magazine, although we didn't make the time frame for their publication, they did an extensive stuff for us online. Star Tribune, a lot of other places at least did an online review of the festival, or an online preview. City partnerships is an area where I think we really do need to improve, and that could also be a timing issue. Look, there isn't just the Edina Art Center who stands to gain from this event. The 50th in France Business Association, the Edina Chamber of Commerce, There are other groups that would have a vested interest in this being pulled off. And, you know, part of this, the reality of doing it the very first year, there was a lot of good luck to you, get back to us in 2012. Well, that's precisely what we have to do. We've pulled it off. We made some money. We got some good media given the limitations we had. So let's reach out now and see what we can do. I would love it personally if the 50th and France groups could get together and do a promotion on at least a minor scale compared to what we're doing with the art fair that's there. You know, the banner, advertising, and everything like that. You know, if you could imagine that up for a month before the festival was going to happen, that would be a nice additional touch. And then finally, again, I'm not every single issue in here because I don't want to take too much time. We need to talk with Landmark Theater, and that is actually one of our first action items as a committee. Landmark, the local representatives were very supportive, very helpful. They actually talked down the corporate office in terms of their asking price. They went through the mud to make this happen. They're not the problem at all. It's the corporate home office, the cost that it took to put this on. At some point down the road, it's going to become a major limiting factor, because what we don't want to have is 3 or 5 years from now, hopefully we're still doing this, you don't really want to be spending more money to put on the event than you're able to pocket and return back to the Edina Arts Center. Then there's really no point in doing this if you have to raise more money than you can actually return back. I mean, down the road. First couple of years when you're getting going, hey, we made money, we're going to make a little bit more next year. It's understandable, but 3 to 5 years, you better be at least breaking even, if not surpassing. And when you're spending, you know, good heavens, $6,000, you could be spending 7 or 8 just to rent the theater, We've got to find a way to try to negotiate that down in price. So that is really one of our first action items, because we would love to work with them going forward. It's a beautiful location, especially for those of you who were able to be there. I mean, come on, it's a gorgeous locale. But at the cost, you know, we don't want to tie ourselves into that location long term if economically it's not going to be the way to go forward. The next step that we are going to be taking after that is I think we really need to be sitting down with Michael and other people here at the Arts Center and just talking about what else can we do in terms of cross-promotion. I know, Michael, our committee had talked about we would love to do some things like have the next poster design be designed by an artist who's either a teacher at the Edina Arts Center or was a student, maybe have an open competition. You know, heck, we'd even love to have some kind of film-related class at the Arts Center if possible to work as a tie-in. We need to have those conversations now. If that is possible, we need to start taking action on that now. And then finally, once we have those other items taken care of, we're going to redesign our sponsorship packets and start going after sponsors, hopefully, ideally next month. So, and included in what I sent you should be what our projected budget here is for 2012. We're going to be looking to raise just a little under 10 grand if we can. And you know, our hope is that we're going to come close to that in terms of what we can return back to the Arts Center. Is it an ambitious goal? I would say yes for year 2. But if we fall a couple of grand, even 3 or 4 grand short, and you know we bring in 6,000 or 7,000 back to the Arts Center, I would still call that a big victory for us and for the Arts Center. So, does anyone have any questions?
I'd comment. I think you will need to present this as a motion at a future
Sure.
meeting so that we can pass on it again.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Edina Public Art Committee, Lois Ring.
I'm going to cover our accomplishments over the last year, and EPAC is the Edina Public Art Committee, so people watching will know when we speak of EPAC, it's our committee shortened name. I'm the chair of a committee of very talented, devoted members with cohesive goals. I want to recognize them: Bernice Amateur, Pat Beaver, Naomi Griffith, Chip Jones, Amy Kerber, Barbara Lavalier, Mark Lidke, Bill McCabe, Ruth Valgamay, and Interim Director Michael Fry, and Ann Spooner, staff support. EPAC is expanding the sculpture exhibition for 2012-2013 to 50th Street and France Avenue. Their business association will be involved in selecting 3 sculptures which will be placed in very visible locations, 2 along 50th, 1 near the fountain, and 1 near Lund's. The site on France is near Salute and the Edina Grill. The association will finance the stipends for the 3 artists. Our committee is very supportive of this new exposure as it will bring a great deal of visibility to our annual exhibitions. Barbara Lavalier, a photojournalist, one of our members, has published this book depicting the sculptures from the inception of the public art program in 2008 at Grandview Square and at the first Edina Promenade exhibition in 2009 up to 2011 exhibitions. This hardcover book containing many great photos is available for purchase at the Edina Art Center. There will be one on display at City Hall at the reception desk. The price is less than $40. Then I have the map card, which we've designed this year. And it has a front and a back. It's a small plastic card, easily placed in your pocket. This map card of the promenade, designed by our members, along with Kaylin Martin, is being distributed to gain more visibility for our exhibitions. A QR code is included on the card so that our website can be downloaded with a smartphone to obtain information about our committee, as well as artists, sculptures, and for viewing photos. The funding is sponsored by Centennial Lakes Park, represented on the map. And this photo of the pine cone was by one of our members, Chip Jones. Then another item I have is the collage. That's a little bit larger. The committee held a team building event at Naomi Griffith's home. The result was a photo collage, which is here on display, which Naomi had a big part in completing. It depicts many of our efforts throughout the year and brought us together as a group for team building. The reception for the opening exhibitions at the Edina Promenade and Grandview Square was held at Pinstripes in June. The sponsor of the reception was Pinstripes. A slideshow of the history of EPAC was part of the program, as well as an introduction of the artists who shared the inspiration for their work. This was a very well-attended reception, the best in the history of our organization. Many city officials attended, as well as Mayor Hovland. The People's Choice Awards were announced after the voting closed on September 30th. The recipients were Jim Gabbert for Suniva, A Gift of the Sun. First place, $1,000. Judd Nelson for Blue Heron, second place, $750. And Steve Elliott for Transponder, third place, $500. All 3 have been invited to exhibit again next year. 3 Trees by Kevin Comodina was donated to the city by the artist and is located on the promenade. This is the 5th sculpture, along with the pine cone, otter, Minnesota eco turtle, and timepiece, to become a permanent part of our exhibitions. Raven by Brian Young is also a donated sculpture displayed here at City Hall. The bicycle mosaics, a combined effort and gift from the Edina Bicycle Task Force and members of the Art Center, were installed on the New York Avenue bridges. Mayor Hovland attended the opening event in September of that event also. And then we have our call, which is all ready to be sent out by email. I'll put that here so that you can see that too. We have revised the format for 2012 thanks to the talents of Mark Lidke, resulting in a more colorful, artistic, and professional invitation to artists to enter the call for new sculptures. This will be emailed to all artists to announce the opening of entries for the coming season upon approval of the budget from City Council. Meet the Artists at Grandview Square was an event hosted by Sandra Smalley and other Grandview area residents, and EPAC, which was held in August. Several members of EPAC and Diana Hedges, past director of the Arts Center, assisted the Veterans Memorial Committee in the call for artists and selection of artist Robert Eccleston to design the Veterans Memorial sculpture in Utley Park. We are proud of our accomplishments in 2011 and are looking forward to increasing our visibility and expanding our work in 2012. And I must mention that we are a committee of the Arts Center Board, so we get a lot of assistance from the Arts Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. Are there questions?
I just have a quick comment. My name is Barbara Lavalura, and I'm the person who put the book together, and I just want to acknowledge three people who also supplied some photographs for the book, Brad, Ben, Lois Ring, and Chip Jones, and I had a lot of help. I really enjoyed doing this project. It took over 50 hours, and I did donate my time to the city. Thank you.
There are many gorgeous photographs in the book. Take a chance to look at it if you haven't seen it.
Buy it.
Buy it, yes. Next item, long-range planning. Thomas.
At the last City Council meeting on December 6th, the City Council unanimously approved our request to endorse the formation of a long-range, of a committee not a committee, a working group to develop a long-range vision and strategy for arts and culture in Edina. The City Council gave us very positive feedback on this endeavor, and also strongly suggested that we need to keep this process open with as wide participation as possible. We certainly intend to do that. The next step will be to form a preliminary steering committee and then put out a call for participation through the Sun Current and with the help of the City Communications Department through the various media outlets around town. We envision to have a first meeting, sort of a formation meeting in the second half of January, and then decide how we're going to go forward from there. I think the long-range planning for the Arts Center will come out of this early on, and so we've kind of held off on getting together for formal meetings for the long-range planning for the Arts Center, and wait at least for the formation meeting and see what comes out of that. In Kitty's absence, I'll just give you a brief update on the planning process for next year that we have been part of. We had a few brainstorming sessions with staff regarding planning and some major initiatives for next year. There's not a final plan yet, but we have come up with a few preliminary goals and initiatives. For example, one of the initiatives we talked about was increasing programs for children, since that is one of our strengths, and it was sort of a unanimous conclusion that we should start building on our strength rather than inventing new things here. Another initiative was a review of the format and the frequency of our program, see whether we can increase the format, the content, and maybe the frequency at which we put that out. And then, final example, we talked a lot about possible partnerships with other organizations around town to increase the visibility of the Art Center, but also to increase participation in our programs. I expect by the next board meeting we'll have a more complete report. We're going to get together a couple more times between now and then, and hopefully by the next meeting we'll have a plan for the next year. The other thing I should quickly report on is I was part of the review group for the bylaws. We have given feedback to the city. There's nothing really new that we're not doing. It's just put in writing and a little more formalized. The expectation here is that by the end of the first quarter, which is end of March, we should have a final set of bylaws that we then can work with, which is going to be, incidentally, the same for all of the city commissions. That's it.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Thank you. Membership report, Dana Lappin.
Hi, my name is Dana Lappin. I'm membership chair. I just wanted to take this time, since we're at the end of the year, to do what a lot of people do at the end and kind of highlight what I've done with membership in 2011. As most of you know, I joined the board in January of this year and took on the role of membership chair in February and started pretty much in March. The Edina Art Center did not have anyone who focused on membership in about 5 years. So suffice to say, the area of membership needed quite a bit of attention. With help from the wonderful staff at the Art Center, these are the things that I've been able to implement in the past 9 months. I implemented a reliable monthly system that contacts all members about a month before their membership expires, and I do personally handwrite a note on every letter and address those letters. I don't hand address the envelopes, but I do hand write a note. Also, there's weekly monitoring of all the new memberships, and therefore there's more of a prompt response time for when new memberships come in. And then I also personally handwrite a note on all those letters, and I do hand address all of those envelopes. I've also established a program where we're reaching out to all members who've expired 2 or more years, and we are reaching out to them in the hopes that they will renew, and they also get a personally handwritten note and handwritten envelopes, addressed envelopes. I've color-coded and have dated a tracking system of when every letter goes out and when every new card goes out, so we can try to track for new members, for renewed members, and what we call the long time agoers. So when people come in and they say, you know, I haven't gotten a card or I haven't received a letter, we can start, I've been able to start tracking, well, actually I sent a letter out on this date, or I sent you a card on this date. That's been just in the past about 4 months that I've been doing that. So that way it's easier for me to know when things are going out, when I'm doing things, and it's just helping me keep track of everything. And I've noticed that's been very helpful in just as a backup system, and also helping us know how soon things come in, how fast does it take from when somebody signs up as a new member to go through the system, to get a letter out, to get it all going. I've also created a speaking tour that I'm going on with Phil Johnson, where we're going out to the different Edina City boards, commissions, groups, and we are speaking about the Art Center and also the Peggy Kelly Media Arts Center to or studio to talk about not only membership, but obviously what goes on at the Peggy Kelly. That's sort of been stalled a little bit with the holidays. I've been busy at my day job, but hopefully at the new year we'll be able to pick that back up again. I've also encouraged the other board members, you guys, to talk to your book clubs and things like that, reach out to social groups and let them know about the Art Center or any other areas. And you guys have been great about emailing me, letting me know of places to reach out to and things like that. I also created a member packet for board members, the staff at the Art Center, for anyone to use at our discretion, and it includes a copy of our schedule, a copy of the info about the Peggy Kelly, a blue membership card, and then a card that I created that has all of our membership info. And it's all together in one packet. John used them at the art festival. We have them out at the Art Center. And it's just one packet that someone can take, explains how to become a member, and it's just an easy way, something you can hand someone. And I've noticed it's been really useful, and there's a nice way to give people information, makes it easy for them to understand everything. And as of this writing, we had 375 new members in 2011. Although the membership numbers, I'll admit, weren't as high or as good as I would have liked. I didn't necessarily set a goal for myself, and I did that because I didn't want to always be chasing a number. But I am extremely pleased with the progress I made. I think you're all aware of some of the internal difficulties I faced at the Art Center, and I know that there's an urgency not only on my part but also on the staff and to fix some of these problems. And all I can do is promise you guys that in 2012 I'll work just as hard, if not harder, on membership. I've loved doing it, and I think that in the coming year, with help from things like the long-range planning and the task force, we all have some really good ideas and ways that we can increase membership. I know that with my work, we've already seen an increase in it, the progress has been a little slow, but there's been progress every month, and that's been good. So in closing, I just also want to thank Ruth very much for her years of service to the Art Center and to the community. I think her absence will be felt on the board and at the Art Center, and I just wanted to let her know that I felt very lucky to work beside her and that I wish her a lot of luck in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dana. Are there questions?
Dana, I just have one real quick question. I know you've done a fabulous job in an area that we've long neglected, unfortunately. Do you know where we're at with total membership right now? Even just a ballpark?
Like total member numbers?
Yeah.
We're about 900 members. It varies almost daily because of the amount of members that expire on a monthly basis and the amount of people that renew. Right. So I would say we're around 900 members is where we're at. And like I said, it's so hard because it changes so often. I would love to be able to give you guys such better numbers every month, and that's one of our biggest goals in the future.
I really do think that I completely understand not setting a number in the first year because
I didn't know.
We're trying something completely new, and why set a number and it may be completely unrealistic, and you know what happens sometimes, you set a number that's not realistic and people lose enthusiasm.
Sure.
But I do think now that you have a year under your belt, it might help for all of us to have a number set, and that way, you know, collectively we can say, look, we're this close to meeting that goal, and so it doesn't just fall on you, and it's something that I think all of us can feel a celebration of, hey, you know, we're up to 1,200 members, whatever the goal might want to be.
Sure.
Thomas?
Actually, for when we did the budgeting, we did set a number, and we set out 1,000 members as a goal for next year. That's what we based our budgeting on, and so that's what we're going to look for.
Other questions? Next item is, I'm sorry. Oh, Lois, go ahead.
I wonder if you have considered each member bringing in a new member. Is it off? Okay. Here? Is this better? Have you considered each member bringing in a new member, having some kind of an event or sending out letters to each member? I've brought new members in with me to an event, and this might be a good way to expose the Arts Center to new people.
We talked about earlier doing member drives or some kind of events like that to increase membership, so that would be a good idea. We also, some of our openings we did this year technically were member only or asked to bring people who would like to be members. We did, so I think that with the idea that the members would bring someone who would like to be a member. So I think that that's something that we may want to sort of not enforce more, but just be more aggressive in whether it's doing more advertising on, but just we had the idea, but we didn't really go further with it. So, like I said, we had the idea of doing member drives or things like this. This year, I had to spend so much of my time getting just a handle on membership. But now that a lot of the system is in place, like John said, I think we can now look at like setting a number and doing some more of these things because the monthly renewals is in place and the weekly monitoring of new member is now all in place. I think we could focus on things like creating a membership drive or looking at thinking outside the box and focusing a little bit more on different ideas of bringing in members. And I think that would be a good idea, something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on membership? The next item is annual report. I had in mind that each of us would comment on things, and that's the nature of the reports you've heard so far. I am just going to thank each of you for your service this year and your continued service in the year ahead. It takes a lot of time, and it's a generous donation of time. During the last year, several other members left this board: Steve Carlson, Rick Fessler, Heather Randall King, Renee Usum, and Jenny Washburn. Both Heather and Rick continued working with John on the Film Festival Committee. Our two student members last year were Maria DePesa and Tea Zerbi. I want to thank again all of you. The next item on the agenda, correspondence and petitions, and I have received no correspondence or petitions. So, and chair and board member comments, and Colin, you wanted to talk about your class.
Yes, thank you, Bill. I'm very excited to announce to the board and to the community a new program at the Edina Arts Center. In our effort to continue expanding the offering of art to the community, we've started a writers program. Some of you may remember the old TV series, The Actors Studio, that was hosted by James Lipton. Well, we're going to do something similar to that, except we're going to call it the Author Studio. And instead of interviewing actors, we're going to interview local authors. The program will start on Saturday, January 14th at 10 o'clock at the center, and we will continue through May meeting the second Saturday of every month at 10 o'clock. And I will interview authors similar to the way the TV show worked, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But I want to tell you that the genres that I've picked will go all the way from mystery writers, historical fiction, to a poet. And I picked these authors for three reasons. One, they're all local people. They're all published. They're good. It's good writing, and each of these people have fascinating backgrounds. And then finally, I know them all, and they're a lot of fun to talk with. The format will be as follows. I will interview each of these authors for about a half an hour. They are free to read from their works if they'd like for a few minutes, and then we'll take questions from the audience. One of the nice things I think for the community center, the Arts Center, will be hopefully more exposure and an addition of a different type of art than we have offered in the past. The audience will receive or be offered opportunities for memberships, joining the center, for taking other classes, and of course the authors will be encouraged to sell their books to the audience. So let me just repeat the schedule. It will start January 14th at 10 o'clock. That's a Saturday at the Edina Arts Center. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Colin. Are there any other board members that wish to comment on anything? Barbara?
Yes, I would like to say a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to encourage the public to actually become a board member. I've had a lot of fun in the last year working with the committee and also spending time at the Arts Center. And the Arts Center is the best kept secret, I think, in Edina in terms of where to buy really great, unique gifts for people. And right now, and you may be talking about this in your report, Michael, but we have gifts. But the Arts Center shop is open all the time, and it's a great place to buy original art and give them as gifts. Or, like myself, buy something for yourself. Jewelry, art. Thank you.
Anyone else? Next item, staff. Michael, your report.
Thank you, Mr. McCabe. I am Michael Fry, and I am the interim director, and I want to talk a bit tonight about 2011 review. And we have mixed results, like any organization. So I wanted to start with our successes. We've had some great successes in 2011. We have an outstanding Art Academy program that continues to flourish, and we provide excellent instruction to elementary, middle, and now high school students. So a lot of individuals, young people in our community are taking advantage of these Art Academy classes. Phil Johnson of our media studios has partnered with Youth Tech, and we offer technology classes in 2011, and those will continue for 2012. Students can design their own website. They can design animation videos. In our pottery area, I really have to thank Sandra Shaughnessy, who has led our pottery department wonderfully. She has very strong leadership, and we are doing very well in pottery. We have a new gas-fired soda kiln that was built in 2011. Our raku kiln is currently being built as we speak. Sandra was instrumental in inviting Robin Hopper, an international potter from Canada, to spend a 3-day workshop with us. It was the first time that he was in Minnesota. He loved it. He donated a lot of pottery that we have sold through the Gifts silent auction. It was a very generous donation on behalf of the Arts Center from Robin, and we thank him for that. Mr. Swan has talked about the Edina Film Festival, and this was the first annual film festival that was held this year, and we look forward to a second annual film festival. So we're very excited about that. And the hopes that we can branch out from traditional areas of offerings from the Art Center, and this is one example where we're really offering something new to the community, and we're hoping to offer local filmmakers in that lineup. Our members juried show is always an exciting annual event for us, and this year, in addition to being a wonderful event, it was also the highest donation and contribution amount that we've had since 2005. We had 267 entries and 140 selections were made by the judges. That's the highest number of selections that were made by the judges. But our donations were very, very strong this year, the second strongest donation since 2005. And I really need to thank Renee Usum for all her hard work in the leadership of the Juried Show Committee and other members of the committee. One of the offerings that we have in partnership with Edina resident Donna Webb is the Hauschka Therapeutic Art Workshops. And this is an exciting opportunity. There's a lot of energy and healing through the arts, and Donna offers these classes both at the Edina Senior Center and at the Center for Wholeness in Edina, and also at the Edina Arts Center. And we also have some excellent classically trained realistic painters on staff at the Edina Arts Center. As many of you may know, that realism, the trend for realistic painting is very strong in the country right now, and Minnesota is a hotbed for realist-trained painters, and so we have several on staff that are really providing excellent classically trained artists in portraiture and still life, and we're very proud of that. Some of the challenges that we face in 2012, several of our board members have mentioned tonight. Ms. Lappin has mentioned our 900 members, and as Mr. Roykle has mentioned also, we have a new goal of 1,000 members for 2012, and I'd really like to see that increase even higher than that. So it's a great opportunity for our small and funky arts center to gain a reputation. I did make a tour over the weekend, and I visited a couple of the other art centers in the community, and I am really impressed with the quality of work that the Edina Arts Center continues to show. And from our students and from our instructors, we have really high quality work coming out of the Arts Center. So I'm very proud of that. Our media center is used sporadically, and unfortunately it is less profitable than it has been in past years, so that is one of our challenges currently. We have a great resource, and a lot of people don't know about it. We do video and media transfer, so we would like to increase that opportunity in our media studios, and Phil Johnson is working hard on developing. We had some great press coverage in the Star and Tribune, and it really brought in a lot of people, and we'd like to work with Jennifer Benneret in trying to increase our visibility through advertising on that. You know, last but not least, Diane Hedges retired after 25 years of leadership, and I want to thank her for everything that she has done for the Edina Arts Center. She was a tremendous influence on the community, and she was a good friend and greatly indebted to everything that she gave to the city of Edina. So thank you all, and I wish her the best, as we all do. For 2012, I'm very excited about some of the possibilities that we have for 2012. Our new winter 2012 schedule is out, so it's in print form and currently online. We are looking at a redesign of the schedule. We found that the bifold schedule has hurt our registrations, and so we're really trying to increase registrations through a redesign of the schedule, and we're looking at some new printing types, new formats, new paper stocks to see if we can drum up a little bit more registration from that. We have 8 new instructors and over 10 new classes at the Arts Center starting in 2012 from a Saturday ceramics class. We're trying to offer more weekend programming We also have a Jungian active imagination class. So we go from a gamut of all types of classes. I've mentioned the second annual Edina Film Festival with local filmmakers. Mr. Nelson has talked about the Authors Studio, so we're working with the literary arts, trying to increase our visibility with the literary arts. Sandra Shaughnessy again has brought in some regional and local potters. We have Karin Kramer from Duluth who's going to be offering workshops in the winter, and Simon Levin from Wisconsin. So those are exciting potters workshops that are coming up. We'll be partnering with the Savage YMCA, the Edina Continuing Education, and local businesses for new programming. One of the traditions we've started as of last year is our teen show, and we're looking forward to working with our student representatives on the board, Tara and Justin, to help us out in working with the teen show. It's open to Edina High School residents, but we're looking to open that to all high schools, and it's an amazing event. We're really getting the high school students involved with the Arts Center. We're currently in the middle of a strategic review of programs, as Mr. Royclay has mentioned, so we're really trying to find out what works for our community and how to bring more people into the Arts Center to make it even more vibrant than it is. And one of the things we're looking at is increased preschool-aged offerings for children, more open studio time, increased membership initiatives, and thank you to Ms. Ring for mentioning that about bringing in new members. And we're always examining how we can operate to be more financially responsible, and I think that's important even as an arts center. We're taking advantage of new technology. We're on Facebook. We currently have 331 users, likers, and that number continues to go up. So if you're on Facebook, please like us. You can sign up for City Extra if you want to find out what's going on with the happenings at the Arts Center, and we send out periodic emails so that you can keep abreast of the current events at the Arts Center. And we're also investigating Foursquare and Groupon. I just got a call from Groupon the other day about a half-price offering of classes, and that's something that we're investigating. One of the biggest pieces of news is the consultant that is going to be coming into the Edina Arts Center, and the consultant has not been hired yet, but at the December 6th board meeting, it was approved that the RFP, request for proposal, is going to be submitted for a consultant to come in and examine the Arts Center. And I'm really looking forward to that opportunity to work with an outside consultant to take a look at all our functions and see what we can do better and to see what we are doing really well right now. But it's a great opportunity for us to be a really well-run organization. And I just wanted to let you know our Gifts show. I called Monica Sullivan on the way over here, and we have $4,700. We're ahead in our gifts sale, so that is really wonderful news. I wish I could say that in registrations and memberships, but I cannot. But our gift sale, we're up $4,700 from last year. And I just wanted to thank Barbara Lavallure for her book. It's a wonderful piece of art, and her photography is great. And I also just wanted to thank everyone on the board that it's been exciting for me to work with all of you, and you are an incredibly hardworking board. You have some great ideas, and it's a pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you, Bill, for your leadership on the board. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to say to Ruth also that thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure working with you, and we will miss you greatly. Today I got 2 reappointment letters for Ms. Lappin and Mr. Buasita, so we look forward to continuing with Hafed and Dana on the board. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me just clarify one thing in your report. That was the City Council meeting on December 6th that approved The consultant.
Sorry, what did I say?
You said the board.
Oh.
The board.
Yeah. Sorry. Thank you for the clarification.
Correct. I had one question, and that is, in terms of the media center, what classes in film, photography, video are offered right now?
We have one class in black and white photography, and this is way down from what it's been in the past. And, you know, the media studios, people come in for one-day video transfers, and then it's the type of business where we don't see them again. But with the digital era, it's our dark rooms are not in use currently. We just have a couple of people who come in, members who are using the dark room, and there's only one black and white photography class in our winter schedule. So we're really down in our photography and media classes. So.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, I believe we have arrived at the end of the meeting, and we are adjourned. Thank you.